So welcome everyone. This is 628 Digital Design, where I like to say we drive innovation through sustainable digital content marketing, design, and strategy. I am Samantha Williams, President and CEO of 628 Digital Design, where we provide inclusive content for diverse audiences, and we also do some consulting. So on our consulting side, that's what we're doing here today. I help people with some grant writing and also their business certifications, doing technical assistance. Some of you may know, and some of our members are here. I am the president and founder of CMWP Foundation, which is an entrepreneurial support organization empowering Black and minority men, women, and children entrepreneurs. Underneath the nonprofit, we have a membership program for women, the collaboration of minority women professionals, where we have over 200 Black and powerful women in our membership. Shout out to our members who are here. Thank you for joining. In the community, I'm on the boards and commission boards of the Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce and also Be Local Connecticut. Be Local Connecticut is for that big B you see on the screen. I don't know if you have any B Corps on, but shout out to B Corps. On the bottom left are some of the awards and accolades myself and the business have been awarded over the years. And on the right is that alphabet soup that we're going to be talking about. We're not going to cover B Corp, but we're going to talk about all these other MWBEs, DBEs, SBEs, all of the good stuff. So we are here to cover the 3 C's of corporate and federal contracting. And I don't like to just speak at you. So this is going to be interactive. I want y'all to come off of mute, ask me questions, throw messages in the chat. But I prefer also if you stop me in the moment instead of waiting until the end, so then we don't have to go back. But yeah, let's chat about what winning these corporate and federal contracts could mean for you. One of the main things people want to get certified. They want to do the contracting because of the income stability. So if you are awarded one really great contract, it could really transform your business, right? It can take you from struggling paycheck to paycheck, client to client, to having a more stable income coming in. You can start hiring, you can build your practice bigger, larger. You can increase your capacity so you can take on more projects, but it also building your credibility, because when you enter this space, you now start to engage with buyers from the corporates, from the government, and you learn, especially when you're in spaces like this, you learn how to navigate those types of spaces. Hey, Chanel's here. So we're going to get started with capability statements. Is there anyone here who does not already have a capability statement? And you can come off mute because there's a lot of y'all, so I can't see everybody.
I don't.
Who is that?
Petra.
Petra. Well, Petra, you're good because you're already in the accelerator program. Anybody else who doesn't have a capability statement? Who
I
doesn't
don't.
know what a capability statement is?
I know what it is. I don't have one.
And who is that? I can't see y'all.
Alice
Oh, Alice.
Turner.
You know what it is, but you don't have one. What is a capability statement, Alice?
It's like a resume of your business, a description of all the good stuff you do, how you do it, where you do it. Um, like a marketing tool that describes your business. I think of it as like a business resume.
I would just get up and let Alice teach the class.
I know what it is. I don't have one, but I know what it is.
I was talking to Dr. Shakina earlier. We was like, it's the shoemaker with no shoes. I get it. But yes, you're absolutely right. I like to say it is a resume for your business. What it is a marketing tool. Like you said, you're marketing your business to specific buyers and they expect to see certain marketing collateral, right? So like a regular resume for business and your professional life, this is going to have all of your keywords, all of the great things that you're doing. We have something in the chat. Chrisanne is back. The capability statement is usually one page. It shouldn't go longer than one page. You want to make sure in that one page you have all the critical elements that the buyers are going to be looking at. They're going to look for facts and logos. They're going to look for certifications. They want to see your keywords. But it's important to have because it does increase your competitiveness and your credibility, right? Just like not everybody on this call now has a capability statement, even if we know what it is. Not everybody has a capability statement. So if you and someone somebody's in business very similar to what you do are approaching the same buyer, but that buyer can look at their capability statement while you're fumbling trying to tell them what it is you do, what are your products and services, they have the advantage because they're able to explain in that one critical document what their products and services are. And it is a door opener because when you have that capability statement, that one pager, I have an example later I'm going to show you. The buyer can look right at that capability statement and get a snapshot view of your qualifications. They can look at that and say, okay, you are certified with SBA as a woman-owned small business. You are service disabled veteran-owned business. You are MWBE. You are in New York City, New York State. You're in Connecticut, whatever it may be. Let me go over to the chat if I can find it. Or whoever put something in the chat, you can come off of mute too. Zoom is not showing me.
It was me. It's Chanel. I was just
Hey,
saying I
Chanel,
don't have one either. Hey, there.
we're gonna get you a capability statement, Chanel.
Yes.
Tammy, the other
So,
was me. Sorry, it is Candace. And I was just giving a shout out to Alice, thanking her for that definition.
oh, I found the chat. Okay.
And Chanel, you're not alone. I'll be joining you.
Oh, Petra, yes, you can stay here.
Is it redundant or no?
It's a little redundant, but we have new people who may have new questions. And what I find is the more you attend sessions like this, whether it's with me or the SBA, SBDC, the more you start to get more familiar with the language and the terminology and the documents and things like that. So it's up to
Okay.
you.
Okay.
I can see the chat. Dominique says she does not. So, it's also important when you have the capability statement, but you should differentiate your capability statements, right? We're talking about corporate buyers versus federal buyers. And that's because they use different wording and language. So, and also certifications, past performance. When it comes to the certifications, the federal buyers don't care about your private certifications through WeBank and NMSDC, and we're going to talk about those. There's private certifications, and then there are SBA federal certifications. So when you're applying for contracting with the federal government, they want to know if you're certified. Remember, certified. So just because you're a woman-owned small business does not mean you're eligible for those set-aside contracts that come out. So you need to be a certified woman-owned small business, certified veteran, certified services disabled veteran, small business, right? There's HubZone, there's AA, then there's other contracting vehicles on the SBA side. That's what the federal government cares about. On the corporate side, so if you're going after like Exxon and Target and all those big corporations, they care about your certifications from WeBank and NMSDC. So WeBank certifies you at the national level as a women's business enterprise. Shout out to our Weebies who are on. And then the NMSDC, National Minority Supply Development Council, certifies you at the national level as a minority business enterprise. So all government agencies have contracting goals. Some corporations have contracting goals. So when you have these certifications, it helps them reach and meet their goals. So that's where that comes in at. Then you have past performance. So past performance is a government term to talk about your experience. Which agencies, entities have you worked with? On the corporate side, they don't care about past performance. So when I completed the Morgan Stanley Small Business Academy, we had opportunities to pitch to Carla Harris, to the executive team over at Morgan Stanley. And part of that is sharing our capability statement. And they loved my capability statement. I mean, duh, they loved it. But they were like, what's past performance? And I was like, those are my clients. Those are people I worked with. And they were like, say that then. Just say previous and current clients or current and previous clients, but call it out. If you put that for the government side, they'll get it because a client is a client, but the government has particular wording that they want to see, and you have to talk to them using their language. The other is the UEI versus the DUNS number. So the DUNS number is tied to your business credit score, right? Um, Everybody cares about your DUNS number except the government. Government said we're not doing the DUNS number anymore. We're doing the UEI, and that is the unique entity identifier. Anybody know where you get that UEI from?
Yes.
Was that Sam?
Yeah.
Where did you get it from?
That's through SAMHSA, correct?
Huh?
SAMHSA?
Did you say Santa?
Yes, SAMHSA. SAMHSA?
No.
No,
like
okay.
like Santa Claus, are you saying?
No, not Santa Claus. No, but SAMHSA, the government on SAMS.gov.
Oh, yes, sam.gov. John David Smith got it right.
Thank you.
Sam.gov.
Question, Sam. Do we need both the UEI and the DUNS, or just like you said?
Yes. So the DUNS number exists for everything except the government. The UEI is now starting to be more important to everybody outside of the government also. So if you're trying to register for your home state or a different state, MWBE, Minority Women Business Enterprise, a lot of those state agencies are now looking for your UEI. The UEI is now also needed for a lot of people going after grants. So Chanel, we was just talking about grants the other day. A lot of times they want your UEI number. When you're applying for a lot of different databases, we're going to talk about the RFP databases. There's like standard information that you need to have. Some of them want the UEI and the DUNS, but when you're on the government side, it's only the UEI. And so again, that comes from sam.gov. Sam.gov is now also important on the federal side and the corporate side. So that's where you're going to start. If you're not in sam.gov, you want to go to sam.gov and start registering your entity today. When you it's not easy either. Also, the Apex accelerators will help you with your sam.gov setup. Not everyone's pleased with the outcomes from working with Apex, SBDC, but when you start registering in sam.gov, you're going to start getting a lot of emails from vultures who are out there, and their emails look official and they're not. So you want to be careful about the different emails that you're getting. Sam.gov registration is free. The SBA certifications are all free. When you start seeing emails from people that look like the government and they're saying you have to pay for this and pay for that, be very suspicious about that because it's not going to be accurate. Any questions on this part yet? Alice, you got a question?
Well, I was trying to decide if I should comment on your Apex comment, which is that they're not very responsive.
Well, I work with a lot of business owners, and actually I had like 3 conversations about this week. I think Apex is amazing. This is where I started my training. Shout out to Marisol, who runs Connecticut Apex.
Mm-hmm.
Business owners have sometimes, a lot more times than sometimes, have not the greatest experiences with them for different reasons. One, sometimes they seem checked out, their advisors. Sometimes they're not. I talked to somebody yesterday who Apex advisor had not put them into the bid match system yet.
Mm-hmm.
So bid match is one of those systems when you are assigned an Apex advisor, they go through your NAICS codes, they put you in the bid match system, and then when opportunities come up that match your NAICS codes, you get an email. Everyone's not getting that. The other issue is they're employees. So sometimes you're working with an advisor, you're building a great relationship, and then they leave. And then you have to start over. Sometimes that relationship never is great, and then you end up working with another advisor. So there's some pluses and minuses of working with Apex. One, you should be working with Apex because that's the only way to get in the bid match system. The bid match system is going to match you with any of these corporate opportunities that align with what you do. Candace, your hands up.
Yes, this is Candace from Untapped Potential. Sammy, we've been on panels together. I just want to ask particularly about this SAM system, and I'm in a do loop, and it is required even for becoming a diversity supplier for certain corporations. They want you to have your SAM's number, or that maybe it is now called the UEC number. I got partially registered or something. And now I'm in this do loop where if I try to log in, it says my email's not part of the system. I'm not in the system. And then if I start to do a new one, it says,
says
no,
you're there
you can't
already.
because you're already in the system. So neither path is possible for me. And I did end up in that scenario when I first started before this hiccup happened where they don't know me and I can't log in. But then if I try to start a new one, they say I'm already there with my same email address and my same EIN number. And I'm not on the choices, but there's other untapped potential type things. But I did get a situation where when I first signed up, they said, oh, now you're signing up here. It's the fee, $500. And it ended up being a service that like you paid for to help you get on. And I'm like, no, I thought I just paid for this. And they did
And
give
you
me
should
money.
not be paying unless you're, because I also set people up on sam.gov. I do that as the consultant part. But unless you're hiring an actual consultant to help you with it, because it can be arduous, you should not be paying for sam.gov registration.
Right. And I did get my money back because
Okay.
it was like like sam.gov something and it was a fake thing, but it still was a service that they offered, but it wasn't what I thought I was signing up for because of the way their wording was. And they did accept my argument and give me my money back.
I'm glad they gave it back to you because that's exactly what I was talking about. There's websites that look official, there's emails you'll be getting that looks official. For your issue though, have you put in a ticket with the FSD.gov, the Federal Service Desk?
No, FSB?
FSD, the Federal Service Desk.gov.
Oh, D as in dog or desk?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm writing that down.
Submit a ticket through them, and everything with them takes a day's process. So if you submit a ticket today, you won't hear back till the next business day. And then you
Yeah, I
respond the
keep
next
like,
business day and they'll respond the next business day.
yeah, that's fine turnaround. I like try to do it and then I give up for 3 months and then I try to get back to it and I give up for 3 months.
That's exactly what happens. All right, we're going to get back to the capability statement. So these are the primary areas that you're going to have on your capability statement. This is what your buyers are going to be looking for. So capability statements, all generally, they can have different templates and a little bit designs, but they're going to have the same type of flow and information. So you're going to start with your company overview. That's going to be at the very top. It's going to be labeled capability statement. You're going to have your brief overview with impactful keywords. Then you're going to get into your core competencies. These are your primary products and services. So for me, I have core competencies listed, and then I have workshops and training. I don't have secondary competencies. It's just core competencies and then workshops and training because my workshops and training are my secondary competencies. So then you would look at your business. You'll say this is the primary thing that I do, or the primary things, and then these are the secondary things that I do. Then your past performance. So remember, if it's government, you're going to use past performance. If it's corporate, you're going to use current and previous clients, and you can list your past performance with logos. If you're doing corporate contracting, federal contracting, sometimes they want to see your previous contracts that you've been awarded. So when I have different variations of the capability statement, one of them has our federal contracts, right? Because they want to see the contracting agency, the type of contract, the dates, and the award amounts. How much was that contract worth? Then you have your differentiators. So what makes you different? What makes you special? Well, I'm gonna pick you and not your competitor. And if you don't know this information, leverage AI and Chatty and say, this is my website, this is my bio, this is what we do, what sets me apart, and let AI help you with that. And then your company data. So there's a lot of different data that's going to be on your capability statement. We mentioned the NAICS codes, but then your business size, right? Are you a small business, micro small business? Your contact information is going to be there. Also, make sure you're using a personalized contact information. So for your email, one, you want to get away from at gmail.com, at Yahoo, at outlook.com. It should be your domain name, right? And so they want to see like Samantha at 628 Digital Design. My primary email is info at 628 Digital Design. But on my capability statement, it says Samantha at 628. They all go to the same email address because I have aliases set up. But they want to make sure that it's a person that they're sending into and not an empty void. So make sure you have the correct professional, personalized email. And then sustainability and ESG. So we're a certified B Corp, and that means we have a commitment to social and environmental issues. Um, but everybody is not a B Corp. However, these buyers, government and corporate, they care a lot about sustainability and ESG. So on my capability statement, I have a subheading for sustainability and ESG because we're a B Corp. That's what we do. You don't need that, but you should be incorporating your environmental social governance into your capability statement, into your website, and other things that you're doing. Any questions?
No questions, but it's Alice again. But I
Hi,
would like to
Alice.
talk to I would like to talk to you about that. We have a social enterprise, and one of the things I've considered is going the B Corp route. So I'd love to talk with you about that at some point.
Alice, you have a nonprofit, right? Is this for a nonprofit or for
Yeah,
profit?
I do have a nonprofit. We also have the social enterprise, the OmniPrint Plus, the social enterprise.
Okay.
So I
So
was thinking,
let me make a note so I can follow up with you about that. So um, nonprofits can't be a B Corp, but for-profits
right.
can.
Yeah,
So,
right. I guess I wanted to just, as a side issue, just really
okay.
talk to you about your experience as a benefit corporation because we have been seriously considering changing our legal structure.
So B Corp does not change your legal structure. So we are an LLC, and being certified as a B Corp doesn't change that, but it is written into our I had to edit my operating agreement to say
Oh,
that.
okay.
All right. So now when
Eh,
you're creating
uh,
the capability statement, we
s-
talked about some of the codes that are going to go in there. How many of you are familiar with the NAICS codes? Who does not know what a NAICS code is? Everybody knows what a NAICS code is?
Sammy, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a quick question. You're recording this. Will we be getting this recording?
Yes.
Okay. I am going to hop off and I'm going to look at the recording.
Okay, and I just sent the recording from Monday too, so you should have that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
I'll see you.
Okay, thanks. Have a great weekend.
So who doesn't know what a NAICS code is? Everybody knows? Tempest.
I
Dominique
do
does
not
not know.
know.
You do not know. All
No.
right. So these are, it stands for North American Industry Classification System, and you get it from the census. But if you just Google NAICS code, it'll show up, but it's the census that gives that to you. And what it is your industry code. So that's your primary, well, you're going to have a primary NAICS code and then other NAICS codes. So your primary NAICS code is going to be like the main thing you do. So for me, I run a marketing agency. So my primary NAICS code is 541613. And that's for marketing. I think it's just marketing agencies. But we also do graphic design that has its own NAICS code. We also do consulting and training. That's its NAICS code. I'm a writer by trade, right? There's a NAICS code for writing. So you can go into the NAICS website and you can put in keywords to search. And then the more you refine what it is you actually do, the better you'll be able to come up with your primary NAICS code. Then we have the UEI. We only get one UEI, like we mentioned, that's from sam.gov. Then you have your DUNS number from Dun and Bradstreet. That's your business credit score. And of course, we have the EIN. EIN is where we should be starting, right? That's from irs.gov. You can get an EIN in seconds. So don't let anyone bill you for getting an EIN. And then you'll take those codes, you put it on the capability statement, and include your contact information. So we talked about having a personalized email, right? So that should correlate with the primary contact. So if it may not be you, but if it's somebody else in your business who's going to be doing business development and managing the contracting, then it's going to be their information. A phone number, a mobile phone number, your address, of course, your website. We talked about the email addresses. And then your social media you want to have, but also you want to make sure you're not commingling your social media. So when these buyers go to your LinkedIn or your Instagram or whatever it is, it should be very clear that this is your business page and this is what your business does. This is your capability. So if you are commingling social media, now's the time to stop doing that. Make sure you have a separate on LinkedIn. You can have a business page and your personal page. Instagram, business and personal. TikTok, business and personal. The other thing is your fax number. The government still faxes. So we're not using the big clunky fax machine like the 80s and 90s, but you can have phone apps. Like I use phone.com. There's somebody in my BNI who does VoIPs and they can set you up with phones and things like that. But your phone system should have fax capability. In today's day, that basically looks like a PDF via email, right? You can take a picture, you can screen it, you can scan it in, however you get it. But sometimes the government wants your fax number, and sometimes the government will fax you. It is still the government. So keep that in mind. Any questions? All right. So this is a snapshot of my capability statement. It's a little blurry, but you can see the sections, right? So I put this through AI, and AI said, oh, we can make it stand out and highlight certain things. So that's what you see here. But you can see is labeled capability statement because we call a thing a thing. It has the logo. It also has the B Corp prominent at the very top because B Corp is very important. And then you see is bullet points throughout, right? So we don't have heavy paragraphs. We use bullet points and it's divided. So one side is our content and a lot of information about the business. The other side is the data side, right? And then down below is where you start to see the logo. So that's when I'm at a matchmaking event, I hand over my capability statement. They look at this and say, oh, you're certified NMSCC, you're certified WeBank, you're certified with New York City and state, you're certified women-owned small business. It's right there. And I don't have to say anything. It just speaks for me. Down below is the past performance, right? So remember, if this is corporate, it's going to be current and previous clients. So you just put the logos of the companies, the organizations that you've worked with. People have asked, I'm starting out, I don't have any clients yet, or I only have this experience and when I worked in corporate. So what you can do is you can leverage that experience. If it's relevant to what you're doing, you can leverage it until you start to replace those logos and that experience with new experience from actual clients that you're working with. So if you did this, and I have a lot of people who did whatever they're doing in their corporate world, but they're starting a business now and they're not sure what to do. So you leverage it. You bring over that employer's logo until it's time to replace it. Any questions? Katina is with the thumbs up.
Yeah. Thank you, Sammy. I was going to ask that question earlier. I am brand spanking new and I just left the federal government. So that was going to be my question in regards to my past performance or capabilities. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yep, I get that question quite a bit. So here are some other sample capability statements. So, I mean, I love Mind. Apex actually uses Mind as templates also, but there are other templates or designs that you can see. So this one, you're going to see some similarities, right? They have their codes on it. It's called a capability statement. They have their logos, the business name. This one is a very manufacturing heavy type capability statement. So you can see they have their overview, then they go into their core competencies, which is very government based. Their past performance is very government, right? The Navy, Department of Defense, couple of contracts there, but you see how they listed their past performance with contract information, right? And then on the right, they have their data. So they have the company information and their snapshot. Here they have their differentiators listed. And it looks like they have some of their core values listed also, but then some certifications. And then they end with their NAICS and PSC codes. Those are different types of codes that you can use. And then the contact information is below. And so even your email, you can see it has an actual email address. They have an extension where you can reach people. There's another one, a little blurry too, but it has their logo at the top, is labeled capability statement. Their website is prominent, and then they use a lot of space on here to talk about their company overview, which is good. Then they have their core competencies, their past performance, right? So they list the logos, they list the company names with a snapshot of what they did. On the right, they have their data. So here you can tell apparently they're certified with the SBA, but we don't know what because it just says SBA, but they have some type of certification, we think. Then they also have a local state SWAM certification. So I have a contract with West Virginia, and West Virginia has the SWAM. That's the Small Women and Minority certification. So as long as you fit one of those classifications, you will be eligible for that SWAM certification. And then it ends with their NAICS codes. So see, depending on what they're doing, they will have a specific NAICS code, but it looks like engineering services is listed first. So that's probably their primary NAICS code. All right, we're going to slide over to the corporate bios. Any questions on capability statements before we go to bios? Hey, Simone. No more questions on
hello.
capability statements? Huh?
I said hello. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining. All right, so we are going to go over to your corporate bio. Before we go into it, is there anybody who doesn't have a bio? It's a safe space.
Me.
Simone, how you don't have a bio?
I don't.
Okay.
Me.
All right, Simone. So Simone just booked me. We did a whole VIP day to get Simone's business up and
I
together.
told you
And
I was starting from scratch.
we start from scratch. We go next up is your bio. So Simone, let's talk about your bio. So the bio is critical in these corporate and federal contracting streets because it is a one page or less. Dee my bio's too long too. I'm gonna show y'all a picture of my bio. Dominique says, brand spanking new to the corporate federal contract. That's fine. It's a safe space. Get in here. Dee, I also don't know what I'm gonna do with my bio because it is what it is. I do too much. So, but it is a no more than one page snapshot of all your best experience, right? So the capability statement, your bio, and your resume are all living, breathing documents that need to be updated, right? One issue I'm finding with my entrepreneurs is that y'all don't have resumes anymore, right? You need a resume because when you are responding to requests for proposals, a lot of times they ask for resumes of all people on the project team. And I do a lot of partnering with other companies, and sometimes it becomes a hassle because I want to partner with you, but you don't have a resume, so now I need to wait for you to prepare a resume, right? So just like you are preparing and updating your resume, you want to do that with your capability statement and with your corporate bio. So just like your resume, your bio is going to be bragging about you. This is your opportunity outside of like your website to tell everybody all the great things that you do and why you're so phenomenal, right? You just want to structure it in a way that's easy to read. Yes, you can leverage AI. If you're using AI, whichever one, just make sure you're also using Grammarly or some kind of editing tool because AI is not great when it comes to proper grammar. So, and you want to make sure it's edited before you submit it to anybody. And when you really start working your business and really start marketing and getting out there, people will request your bio quite frequently. I get asked for my bio maybe 4 to 6 times a week. So you want to make sure that it's updated, that it has all your right information. In the contracting space, you're going to use it one on your website. You're going to also take a version of that and use that on your LinkedIn summary. So make sure you have it there. Your bio is a tool that helps you build credibility and trust. So like your capability statement, that's really about your business, right? The bio is about you in your business, in the community work you're doing, in the awards and your certifications and everything else. Your bio can also be used when you're networking or following up after networking, right? So you can tell people, you can check out my website, my about page, you can find out more about me. After networking events, sometimes people will say, send me your capability statement in your bio. And you want to make sure you have that readily available. So there are some key components of a bio. So you have your intro. Who are you? What is your name? What is your title? What do you do? Your experience, whether that's professional or in your business, your key achievements, your skills and expertise. So you see how this is like pulling from what would be a resume, right? Capability statement doesn't really have all this. It's about the business. Your bio, your resume, that's about you in your business. So include your education, certifications, community involvement. And some people, like usually your last paragraph of your bio will have other information. I play these sports. I live here with my spouse, my kids. I went to these schools. Some people choose to name or mention their spouse. Some people don't. Some people choose to mention their kids and name their kids. Some people don't. So it's all up to you what you want to include in the bio. Any questions on the bio before I show an example? All right. So Dee Dee, like you were saying, my bio too big too. I don't know. It's just what it is. But you see it's structured. I like to justify the margins. So the left and right margins are even. Paragraphs should have at least 3 sentences. So you want to make sure you have that covered. And it kind of starts with who you are, goes into your like professional experience. Here I have the certifications we have. I go into the awards that I received, and then we end with the boards and commissions, community involvement, some education certifications. And it kind of just follows that flow. All right, now we're going to dig into some certifications. Any questions on capability statements and bios before we get into certifications? Okay. So certifications are contract vehicles. That means they're your pathway to getting contracts because they're not always needed for the contracts, but there are set asides that we talked about before where certain contracts are set aside for businesses that are certified as certain things. So you have your federal certifications, state, and your national certifications. Federal are free. State may be free. You may have to pay. I just helped someone get registered in New Jersey as an MWBE. So the MWBE in New Jersey is free, but to register in the state, you have to pay for. So you have to look out for things like that. And then you have the national certifications, WeBank, NMSCC, NGLCC, Black-owned, things like that. So you want to use your certifications as a strategic advantage, right? They help you open doors. They help you get contracts. We talked about access to set-asides. So if a RFP is published and it says it has a set-aside, it will say set-aside. Like for the state, for the government, it will say set-aside service disabled veteran-owned business. Set aside Native American owned business, woman owned small business. That means that contract is only going to be awarded to a company that has that certification. So once I was looking for I was looking at a RFP that was out and we could do it. My company was qualified to do it, but it had to set aside for a Native American owned business. We're not a Native
Are you
American.
muted?
Who's talking? Can you hear me? Simone, can you hear me?
Yep, got you.
Oh, so that contract I was looking at it was set aside for a Native American owned business. So regardless of how qualified we were never going to be awarded that certification. So whereas one of the federal contracts we had through NOAA was set aside as for a certified woman owned small business. We ended up getting that because we were listed in the database. We are certified women owned small business. It was set aside for a certified woman owned business. When you're certified, you're also appearing in these databases, like I just mentioned. So we're certified DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. A lot of times, awarding agencies will give you extra points on your proposal if you say you're a DBE, can prove you're a DBE or MWBE, or if you're going to subcontract with a DBE. So I get emails and sometimes phone calls all the time from other agencies who are submitting their own proposal, something I don't know about, but they will get more points if they subcontract with a DBE, certified DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. So they reach out to me and say, Sammy, I want to write your company into my proposal as a DBE to do this scope of work. Can you please send me a copy of your certification? So that's one way you're getting opportunity without you even being the prime. So the prime is the main company going after the contract, and then you can subcontract out, and those are the subcontractors. So you have the prime and a subcontractor. Then you have introductions to the Fortune 500 companies, federal agencies. There's a matchmaker for you. If you're in Connecticut, March 5th is a SBA matchmaker where there's, I think, 100 or more agencies, corporate, schools, all kinds of buyers that are going to be there. And when you're certified, the certifying agency, they host these events so that they can pair you with the buyers that are looking for what you sell. So those of you who follow me on social media, you'll see my stories all the time. I'm doing different matchmakers. When you're doing these matchmakers, you register in the system. They want your UEI, they want your capability statement, they want your bio, and you put your NAICS codes. And you say, these are the products and services that I'm selling. And then the buyer will also register for that matchmaker, that event, and they will say, these are the NAICS codes, products and services that I want to buy. The system then matches you up and say, oh, you guys should connect. And so that's an opportunity for you to talk directly with buyers who's interested in your product or service. And they give you like 7 to 12 minutes just to pitch your business, to have that initial conversation, and then continue it later if there's an opportunity. So then you have target networking and mentorship. So my first mentor I met through a WeBank. Someone's coming in. I met through a WeBank lunch and learn at Pitney Bowes here in Connecticut. So what happens are, and that was through NMSDC, either WeBank or NMSDC, I think NMSDC. Either of those, WeBank, NMSDC, they have small business members who are us, we're the member, but then they also have corporate members. So Pitney Bowes, I was a small business member, Pitney Bowes is a corporate member. And then the certifying agency, they get points if their small business members are doing business with the corporation. So they facilitate these sessions so that you can come together, find out how these organizations are buying your products and services, when opportunities are coming out. So by going to that event, I met my first mentor who we partnered together. She was a prime on a New York City project. She brought me in as a subcontractor. And then you keep developing relationships like that. We talked about the matchmakers, and then professional development. Those of you who have seen, I'm in my office, but the thing is on. I have a wall full of certifications and accomplishments that I've achieved through my certification. So people get certified because they want the bag, right? They want that corporate contract, they want that money, but there's other perks in getting certified, which include a lot of professional development, the networking, the conferences, the business development, because you learn so much. I'm in a program now, COECP, with the NMSCC through Rutgers University. So there's lots of opportunity that can come from being certified. And we talked about the different certifications, right? So we have the federal, we have the national corporate, and we have state local. So AI helped me with this slide, so ignore the B Corp, because the B Corp is not part of national corporate, but AI put it in there. So on the federal side, you have your Hub Zone, AA, woman-owned small business, economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business, veteran, service-disabled veteran. The national side, you have WeBank, NMSCC, NGLCC, and then you have your state and local certifications, and that may vary. Some cities may have certifications, states have certifications. So wherever you are, you want to just Google and see what's available for you. So this is data from the last Biden-Harris administration. And this was one of their record-breaking years that they did, where they awarded $154.2 billion in contracts to small businesses. This slide I had to edit a little bit because we're in a new administration and these numbers have changed. So these are the federal goals, spending goals that the federal government has with small businesses. So the first one used to say 25%, but we're down to 10% for small business contracts, and then 5% across the board for small disadvantaged, woman-owned small business, and service disabled. So There are still opportunities in the federal space. It's just a little bit less. I was just talking to Chanel about this the other day. It's just a little bit less, which means you got to work a little bit harder. And also, they increase the playing field for the DBE. And we're going to talk about the DBE, that's the disadvantaged business enterprise. But the goals still remain. They did reduce some of these spend goals, but the goals are still there. Tanisha Baptiste with the Connecticut SBA, we partner with her and talk to her a lot about this. And what she told us is that the 5% spend goal is codified into law by Congress. So at minimum, the spend goal will stay at 5%. The 25% that was there before was voted on and increased by previous presidencies. And so the current administration dropped it down to 10%. So not even a 5, but dropped from 25 to 10, but it's still there. So this is a slide, Chanel, this is the one I sent you the other day, of how much the government spends. So the government's fiscal year starts October 1st. So from October 1st through, I think this was January, no, through December, they spent 1.1 trillion compared to the same time last year, which has decreased. My caveat that I'm going to put out there, this number seems a little bit low to me, but also the administration has been known to have some errors on their websites. So this is what's published. This is what's live. You can go to the website. You can check this out. But they've been known to have lots of discrepancies on the website. And then we have the goals, right? So small business, the previous goal, it was 25 until they decreased it to 10. Small disadvantage is 5%, woman-owned small is 5%, service disabled is 5%, and then the hub zone is 3%. So hub zone is your historically underutilized business zone. Your hub zone, you're either eligible or not for your hub zone, and it depends on your exact address. So there's a hub zone map calculator. So you would go to the hub zone map website, put in your address. If it turns green, you're eligible. If it turns red, you're not eligible. But it depends on the exact address. So I have a home-based business. My house may be eligible for hub zone, but the house right next door may not. So it all varies on your address. The other thing is if you have employees, you need to also enter the addresses of all of your employees into the website. And I believe 30% or more of your employees have to live in a hub zone in order for your company to be eligible. And so it's either yes or no. You just put in the addresses and it will tell you. Any questions?
Quick question.
Hey, Kristen.
Hi. So you said that you have to check in with your employees, location, for example, for the hub zone stuff, right? What if year one the employee lives at in a hub zone and year two they relocate to a different say it's let me see. Let's choose New Haven, Connecticut. Suppose they live in New Haven, Connecticut this year and it's a proper hub zone. Then they move to Greenwich, for example. How would that balance out when they have to recertify you? Like, do you terminate that employee or how does it work?
You guys just don't fire your employee, Kristen. But you all of your certifications have to be managed every year. Every year you have to reapply. You have to maintain them. So like I have 14 DBE certifications, MWBE, and all these different states. Every year I have to recertify or renew my certification. So if you get certified as a hub zone, your employee address matches, then you're fine. The next year, if you're getting certified as a hub zone, you go through the process again, you put in the addresses, and whoops, they moved even across the street, and now you're no longer eligible, then you won't have it that year. Miji, is that how you say that? There's a hub zone map. So if you Google SBA hub zone map, it'll come up and you just put in your address and it'll turn green or red and let you know. And again, hub zone is a set aside. So there are contracts that come out that are set aside just for hub zone. So if that, and it's a free certification you get through the SBA. So if you're interested in the hub zone, just go to the map. Well, not just, well, you can just go to the map, but you also have to do the SBA process, their application, which could be arduous. Thank you, Bianca. Bianca put the link in the chat. So this is some example of the government spend. Because some people are like, I don't know if the government buys what I buy. So the government buys absolutely everything. Doesn't matter what you're selling, your product, your service, your food, whatever it is, the government buys every single thing. What you may need to do is change your mindset a little bit and reposition how you're promoting and marketing your product or service so that it is likely that the government will spend money with you. But if you have a product or service, even if it's childcare, the government's buying that. There's childcare in all types of institutions, right? So just think about what you're doing, see if you need to reframe some things and come get some of these billions, right? So we have engineering. So how this is set up, these are the top 10 industry codes that the government's spending. With engineering, that's their NAICS code. So the numbers on the left are the NAICS code. And then on the right is all the billions that they're spending. So you have facility support services, janitorial services, right? It could be general facilities. It could be landscaping and groundskeeping, right? Government in 2024 spent 38.4 billion there. Computer system design services, 33 billion there. I don't know many of you doing guided missiles and space vehicles, but 28 billion there's spending there. And then you have research and development, 44.9. Chanel, we was talking about the research, right? Direct health and medical insurance carriers, that is 43.85 billion. This outlines government agencies, departments on the left, and then their spending goals per set asides. So the chart is kind of split between primes and subcontractors. So the government has goals for spending with the prime, and then they also have goals for spending with the subcontractor. So they still get credit for that. So we saw the previous slide, it was 25%, 10%, 5%. That's the overarching federal government set aside spend goal. But each agency, each of these departments can set their own spend goal. So here I highlighted Health and Human Services because there's usually a lot there. Veterans Affairs, they usually procure a lot of different products and services. So you can see, for instance, for the Health and Human Services, they had a goal for primes at 23%. And then for small business, then small disadvantaged business, they have a goal of 14.75. So although the government says they have a goal of 5%, each department can set their own. So that's why some people think there's no more opportunity in the government. There's still opportunity because each department gets to set their own goals. And then you can see for them, they maintain the 5%, and 3% with the government at that level. But all of this is public. So you can go to the government's websites, you can go to the different departments' websites, and you can see what their spend goals are for the different set-asides. Any questions? So here is more spending per NAICS code. So on the left, again, is the NAICS code. Then you have the industry and the billions that they're spending. So we looked at the facility support, engineering, research, right? On the low end, they're like maybe 2.5 billion, 3 billion maybe. Direct health and medical instruments still over here at 3.3 billion. But then you have facility support, which is, as we saw on the other slide, government spending a lot of money there. And then you see down here in the legend, it says this is the amount obligated, right? So when we talked about in the very beginning of the opportunities and what it can mean for you if you're doing corporate and federal contracting, this amount is obligated. Not all of our clients have obligated money that they said, this is what I'm going to spend. The government every year says, this is how much we're going to spend on remediation services, on software publishers. That category 541-990, all professional scientific vendors, that is huge. There's a lot of different types of industries that are in that one NAICS code. Administrative management is a huge category. Both of those are on my capability statement because of what we do. But the government spending almost $2 billion. Project management, Curtis, that's going to be in 541990, 541611. And remember, go to the NAICS website and put in project management. And you may want to specify and say what type of project management to help you find, like, better refine what your primary NAICS code should be. But absolutely, the government, by Bianca, absolutely, the government buys project management services. So these are the SBA socioeconomic designations, right? We talked about certified small disadvantage, economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business, the hub zone, woman-owned small business. The AA and the GSA are different contracting vehicles. For the AA program, I believe you're there for 3 years. It's either 3 or 6 years. Can't remember right now. And when opportunities become available for people who are AA certified, it doesn't go to the general public. It goes directly to only AA certified people. It's the same as the GSA schedule. When you get on the GSA schedule, when opportunities come available, they go straight to that GSA schedule. When you are on the GSA schedule and you're AA certified, you go through this arduous process to prove that your business is credible and capable. And so the government likes to go straight to those because they don't have to do the vetting. The vetting has been done already. You have the certification, you're on the schedule, they already know they can trust you. And then we have our veterans on the bottom. We have the veteran-owned small business, the service-disabled veteran-owned small business, and then you could get a vet cert. So these are the primary ones in red that people will most likely go after. Oh, the one I didn't mention is the Small Mentor Protege program through the SBA. For that, you have to come into the program with your mentor. So they're not going to match you with an organization. So you say you want to be in this program. They say, that's great. Bring your mentor. Your mentor should be someone who is a federal contractor, who is skilled, who has these certifications. And then you can go through that process. So for the woman-owned small business certification through the SBA, it used to be a self-certifying system where you would go in, you would enter your information, you would get certified as a woman-owned small business. The government found out that there were men going in and getting the opportunities that was supposed to have been designated for women-owned small businesses. So now they outsource this certification to third-party agencies. So women who are on the call, if you're interested in being certified as a woman-owned small business through the SBA, you can pick one of these organizations. Not sure if you have to have that overarching certification from that organization. That's what these fees are, because the woman-owned small business certification is free. I do mine through WeBank, the last one here. So every year I renew my WeBank certification for $350. That's just WeBank. But because WeBank is one of the third-party agencies, I tack on my woman-owned small business certification for free, and my WeBank and woman-owned small business gets renewed at the same. Well, woman-owned small business is usually like 2 weeks, a week or two after, but at the same time, they're up for renewal. I renew them. Then I have to take that certification, woman-owned small business, and upload it to the SBA's website. That's the only way to get on in their database where you're known or it's published that you are a certified woman-owned small business. Any questions? And you're welcome, Curtis. So the different certifying agencies, I talked about the alphabet soup. This is why. We have the SBE, Small Business Enterprise, WBE, Women Business Enterprise, BBE, or the Black-owned business, Black Business Enterprise. MBE is the Minority Business Enterprise. VOB is the Veteran-owned business. And then the DBE is a Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. DBE is given to you or awarded through your Department of Transportation. So in order to be certified as a DBE, you need to be certified in your business home state. So wherever your business is registered, you're going to get your DBE certification there. Once you have that, then you can do an interstate application and get certified as a DBE in any other state, which is why my company is certified as a DBE in 14 states. However, this administration has changed the rules for the DBE certification. And so they published the IFR, the interim final rule, on October 3rd that changed the definition of socially and economically disadvantaged. So before October, anyone who was a socially or economically disadvantaged business could get this certification. Usually that was women, minorities, Black people, basically. Now the government says, oh, this also applies to those with the ACDBE. So if you're doing business in the airports, is the airport concession disadvantaged business. It applies to that too. So now they say anyone who is certified as a DBE is now considered decertified because they've changed the definition of what economically and socially disadvantaged means. So now with the new process, everyone is supposed to submit a personal narrative explaining how you are economically or socially disadvantaged without relating it to race or sex, gender. So, and you also have to submit a personal net worth statement that demonstrates that you meet that social and economic disadvantage. And then the DOT will review it and then recertify those.
I don't even want to hear no more. This is ridiculous. This is just, it's straight shenanigans.
I'm just delivering the message, Simone.
This is insane.
Yes. So what this means, we talked about how opportunities are there, but the pool is larger. So anyone can submit a narrative and say that they are socially or economically disadvantaged as long as it's not related to race, gender, sex.
Do you know anyone who has submitted under these new rules, and how did that go, if so?
So the SBA is doing some training to help people write their narratives and how to exclude. I just participated in a training last week about this. It's unfortunate. It's even more unfortunate for me because I'm certified in 14 states, so I have to do this for Connecticut and then send it to the other 13 states. And the only thing we can wait for is new presidency. Any other questions? Simone, any other thoughts?
That was gonna be, I guess you touched on it because obviously the bulk of I think, in my opinion, I'm not sure if this is factually correct, but the bulk of what the SBA worked on was helping populations that were a little more disadvantaged, including physical disabilities, mental disabilities. So I was wondering if any of that changed with regards to getting certified. So is it just race and sex that's being disregarded?
Yes.
Okay. So you can still say you're disadvantaged with regards to like maybe mental or physical disability. Is that still allowed?
No.
Okay.
No. Sam says vote. So Miji, no, veterans would not qualify under this. Veterans would apply under the SBA for the veteran-owned small business. And no, there's no certification. I'm trying to think, Simone, about the disability. Some states have, you're welcome. Some states have programming for disabled people. But again, if you're a vet, if you're a service disabled veteran-owned business, that's going to be through the SBA.
Because I thought all of that was included in the DEI wording, because it was for like accessibility as well, right? So.
Well, that DEI and DBE are different things. I mean, they used to be like the same, but when you get to change definitions.
So I see what you're saying. So now it's DBE and it's just more general, and you just write in.
And anyone's eligible.
Okay.
Specifically, white men can now submit a narrative saying, this is how I'm socially or economically disadvantaged as a white male.
So basically we back to square one. Okay, move on, Sammy.
Okay, all right. Sam said vote. So these are your national level certifications. NMSDC is the National Minority Supplier Development Council, certifies you at the national level as a minority business enterprise, MBE. That is a paid certification. WeBank, Women's Business Education National Council, certifies you at the national level as a women's business enterprise. That's also a paid certification. You renew those annually. On the top, we have the Certified Black-owned business through Buy Black in the U.S. Black Chambers of Commerce. And then you have the new one that's coming out, I think, later this spring is the Black Business Enterprise, BBE, which is through the National Business League. Those are free certifications right now. And then you have the NGLCC, which is through the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce. So if you qualify for that, then you will get that certification. That's also a paid certification. So then we get into document preparation, because there's a lot. As you can see, when we talked about certification building your credibility, because you're submitting all of this stuff, right? You're proving you're the owner of the business. You're giving your financial documents. They all ask for your taxes. But depending on the certification that you're going for, they may or may not want all of these things. When I first started getting the certifications, some of the things that confused me were like the bank signature card. I had no clue what that was. The bank signature card is a document from the bank signed by the branch manager that says it lists the people who are able to do transactions under your business account. So one is having a business account, right? So you need a business checking, savings, whatever account set up. Because when you're in sam.gov, you also have to put your banking information in sam.gov. The government pays through sam.gov. So you're going to get your business account set up, register in sam.gov, get your bank signature card. That's something that you're going to keep a copy. All of these, you're going to keep a copy PDF. I recommend setting up a folder on your computer, because when you do this certification year over year, you're getting a new certification. You don't want to have to go digging up all this stuff every single time. Then you have your financials, the P&L, the balance sheet. Some, especially the SBA, want to know about any debt instruments that you may have. They want to know about your initial business investment. So what that is when you open your business bank account, you put money into that business bank account. When I started my business, I was a writer, and I was just like turning my side hustle into a business, and was like, I have a computer, will work. That was it. So when it was time to do these certifications, I'm like, yeah, opening a business account. I put in, I don't know, 500, 100, whatever it was. But that, to me, it wasn't my initial investment. It was just me opening my business account. There's a company I'm working with in West Virginia, helping them with their certifications. And I asked for their initial business investment, and they immediately said it was $5,000. I took that $5,000, I opened my business checking account, and then I bought this equipment. So it could be as straightforward as that, or it could be, all right, let me put something down. So you don't have to dig it up. You don't have to figure out what was the amount you actually put in. All they want is a letter. Doesn't even have to be on letterhead. They just want a letter stating, I opened my business on this date with this amount. That's it. Some certifying agencies are going to look for your list of contracts. So they want to know who you worked for, what was the value of the contract, what were the dates. Also, do not think that with all these certifications, you can come in and do this application and be done. Sometimes you're saving it as you go. And then you're working on certain things, right? Maybe you have to talk to your accountant to get your balance sheet. Maybe you have to type up who your board members are. If that applies, if it doesn't, that's fine. And then sometimes you have notarized documents. So with WeBank, I renew it every single year, and every year there's one document that I have to go get notarized. So I know I'm going to save where I am, go to the bank or a notary, go get it notarized, come back, upload it, pay, and then I'm certified. Any questions on these? Pretty straightforward. So the certification best practices that I always say, You want to lead with your qualifications. Yes, you're certified, but you're certified because you are a really dope business, right? You provide really great products and services. You want to lead with that. Then you want to mention your certifications. In addition to be a really great marketing agency, look at this alphabet soup I have over here. Those of you unfamiliar with supplier diversity, a lot of organizations, fewer now, but a lot of organizations, the government, have supplier diversity goals and departments. And so those are the people that their job is to get contracts to small, underrepresented, woman-owned small business, minority-owned businesses. So they have a database of all these businesses. And when their organization is looking for new companies to bring in, their job is to say, hey, you should work with 628 Digital Design. They're a Black woman-owned certified company, and I think they'll do really good things. That's their job. So you want to help them reach their supplier diversity goals. I also recommend getting to know those supplier diversity representatives. Very good relationship building. Maintain your annual renewals. If your renewal lapse, it lapses and you start all over again. So make sure you maintain your renewals, save it to a PDF, and then share. We always talk about bragging about yourself. I include this because people ask me all the time about the RFP databases. So yes, I'm going to send this recording. So you can take a picture now, or you can wait for the recording. But what you do is you register in these databases. We talked about Apex. So you have to connect with Apex, get an advisor. They will put you in their bid match system. Otherwise, you go to these websites, you register. They're going to want capability statement, NAICS codes, all of that. Once you put in your NAICS codes, when opportunities come available for the contracts in their system, you're going to get an email. So I get emails constantly. I don't know. I can't even tell you, 20 a week or so from different opportunities that come up. And then it's up to you to review it, to check your email, review it. Sometimes opportunities match what you do, and sometimes they don't. And if you're finding that you're getting opportunities that don't really match, just go back into that system and see what you originally put in there and just update it as needed. But you can go through these, get registered, start getting solicitations to your inbox. This is more on the corporate contracting side with databases. So I went to the NMSDC conference in Miami. There were lots of huge corporations there, all of the banks, every single bank was there. All of the automotive industry brands, they were all there. Liberty Mutual, they're all there, and they're all in Supplier IO, in Ariba. So between those two, that's really where you're going to find a lot of the big brands. Then you have stars. Stars, when I think of stars, I think of like Nabisco, PepsiCo, like they're in the star system. My company has a contract with Eversource, and they're in Ariba. So you want to start getting familiar with these systems because Ariba itself is not fun, but this is where they're playing at. So you need to be aware of that. So then we talk about marketing. Bye, John. Talk about marketing your documents. So you want to include your capability statement and proposals that you're writing, adding your capability statement to your website. So if you go to my website, I have a government page. On that government page is a picture of my capability statement, and you're also able to download it. Using social media hashtags. So hashtag MWBE, hashtag WOSB, including it in your marketing materials. So I don't know if you guys can see this a little bit. On the bottom of this flyer is my logos for our certifications. Include the logos on your capability statement, attending the matchmakers and networking events, attending the government agency conferences, and then you have your databases that you want to register in and marketing your NAICS codes. And so I put together a worksheet for you guys. So you can scan this or go to this URL, but you're going to get the replay and you can access it there. But it's a worksheet to help you guys navigate the corporate and federal contracting. And it was prepared through AI. So shout out to, this was Notebook LM. So thank you, Notebook LM. So you can go through that and you can start preparing it. And then Petra, who was on, has joined the accelerator. So I will be doing a 3-month accelerator program to help you with your certifications, your capability statements, your corporate bio. It's only $99 to get into the accelerator. Christiane is in the accelerator. Petra signed up for the accelerator. So thank you, ladies. This price is going up after today. So you'll get the replay, but after today, it's going up. So it's $99 if you want to get in. We're going to be meeting for 3 months, twice a month on Zoom. We're going to be having breakouts so you can talk about your 3 C's in each of your breakout rooms. We're going to have guest speakers because there's a 4th C that I'm slipping in, which is connections, because relationship building is so incredibly important when it comes to corporate and federal contracting. So we're going to have some guest speakers coming in and talking to those in the accelerator. So get in here, and this is the end of the presentation. Any questions? Who asked for the, let me go back.
I may have a question.
Yes.
Like I always do. I was thinking of having my business to be B Corp. Um, do they require certain credentials? Because I'm more on the food and beverage side. You know, I've been doing composting for a while, but I just don't have a physical space that I own, you know. Just
For
want,
B Corp?
yeah.
Wait, Miji, yes, I will send that to you. Shakina, Dr. Shakina. I have not decided yet what day. I think I'm gonna do one lunchtime and one evening each month. So that's what I'm thinking. A lunchtime meeting and a evening meeting. It'll rotate each month. That way you can get in. For B Corp, Chrisanne, Shakina, I can send it to you, but if you scan that QR code or go to this bit.ly link, it will take you to it also. So Chrisanne, food and beverage industry businesses can be B Corp. Like we have Ben and Jerry's is a certified B Corp. Jerry's Eggs is at the something Jerry. Pete and Jerry's Eggs are also a certified B Corp. There's a kombucha that I drink that's a certified B Corp. Bigelow Tea here in Connecticut is a certified B Corp. Actually, I'm on Be Local is the board for Connecticut B Corps, and there's a representative from Bigelow on the Be Local Connecticut board with me. So there's absolutely opportunity there. Also, you don't need to have a brick and mortar to be B Corp. I work from home. We're certified B Corp. So there's opportunity there.
Thank you.
You are welcome. I'm going to let me stop sharing because you guys are asking for the link. So I'm going to go grab the link and put it in the chat for you. Hold on.
Hey, Simon. Can you hear me?
Any other questions?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi,
Oh, it's you. Hi.
Yeah, hi. It's
From
Miki.
Bloomfield.
Yeah, from Bloomfield. So I was asking about the hub zones because I just put the address in and it said that I'm not part of the hub zone, but I am a real estate investor, right?
Wait. It's a
Well.
little hard to hear you. It said you're not in a hub zone?
No, I'm Bloomfield for my home address, but I have other residential places, like I have a lot of real estate. But I was thinking of probably moving like my address there because those will qualify in Hartford. Is that okay to do that? Because I do own the building, like I am the owner.
Is that I own the building? As long as it's your official business address, yes.
Okay. All right. I was thinking of doing a brick and mortar office because I'm trying to be,
So if you're gonna do the brick and mortar and that one is in a hub zone, then yeah, you could just rock with that one.
Yeah, so then I just have to change my business address.
Yep.
Before I register and like do all that stuff. Okay. All right, I'm gonna do that. So I have to qualify because then I'm also could it be stacked up for like hub zone, women, veteran disabled and all that stuff? Like I qualify for everything and I have to do the certification as well.
So the SBA just changed their certification website last year. And it used to be a one-off application for each. Now, well, it's still kind of one-off on the back end. But now when you go to the SBA certifying website, you can select the ones that you want to apply for, and that one application will be submitted for all of those.
Okay.
What I found though is the 8A in the economically disadvantaged women-owned small business, they require a lot more documentation. And it can, if you just want to do the woman-owned small business, I would recommend doing the hub zone is going to be easiest. So I recommend doing the hub zone first, then doing the woman-owned small business, and then doing the if you want to do AA, you can do AA economically disadvantaged, but those are going to be a much arduous process.
Okay. I'm down for it to make it
Okay.
happen because that's how you get the bag, right?
Huh?
I said that's how you get the bag, right?
That's how you get the bag. This is why we're here, right?
As well as time and effort. Thank
Yes.
you.
And the SBA certifications are free. Like time is our most precious commodity, but if you spend a little bit of time and you make that investment, and you could be rewarded on the back end because there's still opportunities regardless of what administration is doing. There's still some opportunities out there.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. Any other questions? Nothing? If no other questions, I put the link in the chat. You will get the replay. So, thanks, Sam. Sam, I'm making a note. We need to catch up. Let me put you over here. You'll get the replay.
Please,
Y'all are on my
I'm gonna
email
have you
list.
free. Thank you so much. This was excellent. Excellent. Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you for attending. Shoot me an email if you have any other questions. Check out the accelerator. Thank you, John David Smith. Come get in here because it's all about maximizing our potential and, like Miji said, getting the bag, and we can do that. So let's talk, and I will see you in these entrepreneurial streets. Thank you, Dr. Shakina. All right, bye, y'all. We're logging off. Go enjoy your
Thanks.
Friday.
Bye.
Bye.